Hi everyone, welcome to the second part of this Kerby Rosanes video from Worlds Within Worlds. Now in the first half we just started the clock. It was actually a lot of time to do something very simple. Now I'm going to put a few darker green areas on the leaves and then we're going to move on and do some of the smaller details. So I've actually got the dark green in my Polycolors, which is what we've been using. This is number 26 and I'm just looking to see, yeah, it is called dark green, and what I'm going to do is just use it a little bit on the areas where we've got a few darker lines. You don't have to do this. If you like it as it is, then you can just leave it without the darker bits. But I'm just going to use the guidelines that are there to just add a little extra colour. There we go. I'm just going to sort of move down this side and then do the basically move around the clock, doing just over the bits where there are lines. It's really quite straightforward. This is why once I get started with a Kerby picture, I'm actually like, you know what, this isn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, you know. And as I say, you don't even have to do this sort of second bit of colour. You can just put one layer down and let the lines there speak for themselves. It does depend on how transparent the pencil is that you're using. Some pencils, especially if you press quite hard, they might cover over the details underneath, so then you might have to put in a bit extra just to show them back up again. But it depends how hard you press as well. Yeah, it's been a while. I started this on the video, obviously, and then I stopped the video and was doing the second half of the page and my phone rang. Had a nice natter with my mum. A little bit of a catch up with her. I haven't spoken to her. I only spoke to her very briefly yesterday because she was busy. And so I had a catch up with her. And then it was lunchtime, so I had lunch. One of my boys is out, but the other one was here, so we had lunch together. We doing crossword. Gets on his wick, me doing crosswords all the time. But anyway, I've got one clue. I said to him, I want to get one clue. It's cryptic, it's quite difficult, and got one. So that was good. So I achieved my goal, and I'm going to need to get a few more than one if I want one by the time the solution comes out. It's the it's from a magazine called The Big Issue, and we buy it on a Saturday. From our local seller is there on a Saturday at our farmers market. So then I have the solution, so I have to try and get it done. Done the normal one. I don't know what they called it. The concise, I think they called it, but the cryptic one I'm still working on. Sometimes I cheat and look up a few things, not like the whole clue, but just like a bit of it. You know, I might think, well, I think the answer is probably another word for X word that's in the clue, so I'll look up that word, some synonyms, and see if I can get it, that sort of thing. But the cryptics are quite tricky. I have solved it once or twice, but by not on my own, by looking things up. So yeah, it's hard work. But anyway, we did that, and then we went for a quick walk. I said we need to have a walk. We haven't been out. Right, I'm happy with the green now. I'm going to leave my green there. I'm going to work on the grapes. Now, if I was going to do this gold, the clock, which I had thought about, then these would be part of the gold and that would be fine. But I'm not. I like colouring grapes. I'm just looking at my colours because I'm thinking I'm going to use two colours. I'm going to start with the darker colour, the dark violet. This is number 182. I'm just looking, where is it? There. Yeah, I don't have another name for it. And with these grapes, we've got some lines on the bottom. I'll come in closer to these because you can see. There we go. Okay, so we've got these lines So I'm going to just do this dark violet on the lined part on the bottom. I'm going to give it a sharpen actually. I'm going to ignore Mr. Line for a minute. I don't know. I was going to camouflage him in, wasn't I? That's what I said. I don't really want to do him this colour, but then do I want to do him green? Let me have a quick think. So I'm being quite rough and ready. I think you can with Kerby. I'm going to do him in these grapes colour. So I'm just going over the bits that are dark. And then we're going to do the same with this one because it's almost symmetrical, apart from our lion. And then for the top part of the grapes, we're going to use a slightly lighter colour. I like red grapes and they're easier to colour match than green because green grapes are sort of light yellowy green, semi-transparent, quite tricky. I think I'm going to try this colour. This is 178. Whoops, there you go. It is the reddish violet, or sometimes called red violet. And I'm going to sort of go do the top and just go over the rest and see how it looks. Ooh. Oh, I can hear a wasp. It's outside. It was so loud. It was at the by the vent in the top of the window, buzzing away. Anyway, so we did the crossword, then we went out for a walk, and just got some groceries. I'm getting quite used to having a boy helping me with shopping for groceries. I'm gonna miss it. But they might still be able to help me when they're at university. It depends how many days they're there, how busy they are. We'll find out. He was actually saying to me how some people in some countries, their parents don't give them any freedom even when they're sort of 18 or 19. You seem to appreciate that, you know, as soon as you finish college, that was it. You know, you're nearly 18, not 18 yet, but, you know, you might as well just have your freedom now. But there are still rules, you know, you can choose your own. I'm going to grab this, the darker one again, the dark violet, and just go back over. I feel like I should have done the lighter bit first. It doesn't really show up. So there are house rules which you have to stick to regardless, like no food upstairs usually, except I do when no one's here. Shh. We have little bits, but not, you know, don't eat meals upstairs, carpets and things like that. My nephew actually was here the other day and he'd gone upstairs and he was eating a piece of melon. Oh, sticky, sticky. He didn't know the rules, so he just went off upstairs. I didn't notice. Okay, clock. I'm going to do the houses first, before the clock face. I think they look like they're wooden to me. And Tudor style, maybe. We'll do the roofs first while I have a think. I'm going to use the medium grey, which is number, she covers it over, 71. So the medium grey, 71 for the roofs. I'm just checking there's no other colour name, there isn't. And I'm going to do them all the same. I think it looks quite nice if you sort of match it all up. Again, if it's darker in some areas, I might press a bit harder. Oh, excuse me, I got hiccups. Yeah, so when we came back from shopping, we both bought ourselves a treat because my other son is out and he's out for lunch. So he's having lunch out, so we decided we would buy ourselves. I got myself some crisps, some Tyrrell's ready salted crisps, and my boy got himself some chocolate chip cookies. But anyway, that wasn't what I was talking about, was I? I was talking about rules. Yeah, so we have some house rules, like, you know, this is number 36, which is the black. Ivory black. Like, you have to have had your shower and by 10 o'clock because everyone showers in my bedroom and I want to go to bed. I'm going to make them look Tudor styly. In fact, I'm going to improvise a bit. Just because I'm feeling a bit daring. Yes, so they have to have a shower by then, which is fine. It's usually later because they get talking and blah. But if I'm really tired and I want to be in bed extra early, I say to them, look, tonight, oh, we didn't do that one. Just grabbing the grey. You know, tonight it's early. I'm going to go to bed early, so you need to be showering early. Okay, next I'm going to do the windows, and I'm going to do them in quite a bright yellow, as if there's bright... now it's going to look a bit odd because it's so bright, but we're going to do some gold soon, so hopefully that'll brighten it all anyway. So this is number 3, which is the chrome yellow, or I think it also gets called just yellow. Yeah. And I'm going to do all the windows. Some of these are blacked out. I'm just going to go over them anyway, because I'm a rebel. They're a bit small, aren't they? I think that's a window. But it seems to be working at the moment for everybody. Now, the houses themselves, Tudor houses are white, but I'm going to do them in the lightest sort of creamy colour. This is number 121, which is called Banana Yellow, and it's quite a light creamy sort of colour, and I'm going to use it really gently so you can just see it, but I want to make sure that you can see that the colour in the windows is different. Okay. Even for this big tall tower, I want them to be the same, everything to look the same. But apart from, you know, we have these house rules, but like their bedtime's any time, so as long as they're showered they can go back downstairs and play on their computers or whatever, but they have been so sensible. My one son comes up for a shower at 9:30, has his shower, goes to bed around 10. My other son has his shower at 9. He sometimes goes back downstairs, sometimes he's up until 11, sometimes he goes to bed at 10 depending on how tired he is. And he I'm going to use a lighter green for these trees and bushes. This is number 23, which is the spring green or the May green, depending on what version of pencils you've got. So yeah, so he might stay up a bit later, but he tends to lie in later. Though he was moaning this morning that his dad woke him up because the dustman came and his dad was talking to him through the window. Woke him up. It was because there's an empty house in our street at the moment. My husband puts all the bins out and they put the rubbish in the wrong bin. It's someone, we don't know who, because it's an empty house. I'm going to use the ivory black again for the numbers on the clock. I can do this before I do the face. I just think it'd be a little bit easier for me to have these done first, but could have done them last. I'm hoping now that it's not going to smudge, but it should be okay. I like the fact they're Roman numerals, it's quite cute. Now, we gotta think about our gold. Now let's find the darkest. Here is our darkest. I'm gonna use this one first, the dark brown. Number 33. I'm going to pick my darkest area. I'm going to do a diagonal line across here. I'm going to start it here and there. And I'm going to build that colour up a bit and then just spread it out in a sort of triangular shape. So you see it's darker in the middle, it's getting lighter as it spreads out. I'll do the same on this side. we're going to colour over those birds. We won't worry about them right now. Okay, so we've still got an opposite bit. Then we're going for our light brown, I think. Actually, the natural sienna is a little bit paler. We'll use that. The natural sienna or brown, which is number 32, we use next. We're going to go over the top of this. Let's spread that colour further. You've got to sort of remember that it's a sort of triangular shape because we're sort of fitting it into a circle behind the houses. What we want to try and do is keep that shape and that size about the same. Okay, now we're going to go in for a sort of ochre. I think I'm going to use, what should I use? I think I used the light ochre. This is number 29 and it's actually called either light ochre or dark ochre, which is very confusing. But anyway, again, right over the top of what you've done already. Can't get my hand around there. There we go, and then around here. Oh, we've gone over the top of the handle a bit there, that wasn't intended. Handle. No, that's not what it is. Now a yellowy tone. I could use the chrome, the banana, the lemon. Use the chrome yellow or yellow, I think it is. Number 3. Make sure you go over everything because it will just brighten, blend and just make everything, pull it all together. Now don't go right up to there, leave a white gap for now. Now we want to leave us some white to look like shine, but we need to be a little bit careful as to how much. So I'm just going to really fade it and just leave a small amount there. And the same here, so just fading it down as we come in to close that gap a little bit. There we go. There is our clock face. Now I'm just going to erase where I accidentally went over the hands. I can find my eraser. Oh, here it is. I'm thinking I might do the hands in a silvery colour. There we go. So silver, we have a slate grey, or the light bluish grey is a really good one, silver. There we go. The light bluish grey, which is also called bluish grey, and it's number 34. And I think I'm going to go over the tip first, quite hard, then less, and then just leave a whitish bit there. Pale, isn't it, this grey? I'm going to layer it up a bit. There we go. Now we have our bird on the top. And we have all these birds flying through. We could do them the same colour. We could tie them in with the grapes, but I'm not going to do that. I quite like to do in blue, just to add another sort of touch of colour. I'm thinking, I could do a grey blue, I think might work. Yeah, so I'm going to grab this one. This is the Prussian blue, but you can see it's quite a greyish shade. It's number 20, and it is, oops, where's my list? Yeah, it's just known as Prussian blue. So I'm going to do the darker areas of the bird with this. That's it, not that. So that's it, but I'm going to do all these other birds with this in a sort of more solid colour. So all the birds that have room to colour inside, some of them don't. Some of them are just a black line, so they will stay black. But the ones that have space to colour in, I'm going to do them this dark blue. The reason I'm doing them dark is so they show up better. Some of them I've accidentally coloured bits of and things like that. So if I do them dark, I can cover those bits. I don't know if they're supposed to be the same type of bird as the one on the top of the clock, but to be honest, I don't think it matters. I like to just tie in the colour. I think it's rather nice to do that. And I'm just sort of working through them already. No special technique, nothing like that really. But I am thinking carefully about the what to do with this background, because this black did smudge from the numbers of the clock. So if I do pastel and I'm not really careful, it's going to smudge it. I would like to do something. I think it would just make it a little less plain. So I'm thinking it through, and I'm thinking aloud, talking to you as I do it. I'm trying to think what day of the week it is as well. It's Thursday. Don't get worried. It's not Thursday when this video is coming out. I think this video will come out on a Wednesday, but I'm not entirely sure. I may just change my mind entirely as to when I put it out. But yeah, it's the week's getting on. I need to record a new morning series for you. And I've got a couple of different ideas, so I will do both. It's just which I do first, really. But I seem to have had a lot to do today. I have a lot to do a lot of the time. I feel that when you're self-employed, you can always find jobs to fill the space. I think it's true of any job. You know, you can always, although no, actually I've had jobs where I couldn't do that. But there's always something. When you're at home as well, you know, there's other jobs as well. So if I didn't have any work, I could clean the windows, or, you know, vacuum the carpet, any of those sorts of exciting things, you know. There's always things that need doing. But I used to take a day off a week when I used to just colour, go for a walk, meet friends, that sort of thing. But I haven't been doing that lately. I've been having to take days off because things have been happening, and therefore I haven't been able to take a day off for me because I haven't had time. Right, I'm going to use a slightly lighter blue to finish off our bird on the top there. This is the 67, which is the mountain blue, and I'm just going to go over the top of him. If you press too hard when you're going over the bit you've done already, you might just fade it down a bit too much, so think about that as you're colouring. Don't forget that bit in there between the two branches. Now his beak and his legs, well, feet, aren't going to be the same colour. One thing I have found with these Polycolors is on some books that are badly printed, it actually smudges the black print, the same as the Prismacolor blender does, but it's okay on this one. Okay, so beacon feet, I'm thinking a dark grey. What have we used? The medium grey I think will work. Oops, I'm just dropping it. I can't remember. Did we use that for the roofs? I think it's quite nice to double up sometimes. 71. It sort of ties it back into the rest of the picture. Okay, and we do have the weights. Now I always remember these being brown, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the dark brown. They look a bit like pine cones as well. This is number 33, so I quite like the idea of them being brown. I'm going to try and make them darker on the edges and then a bit less in the middle. It's not how they're drawn, but I think it hopefully will help to give them a more rounded shape. And it's quite a simple way of doing that, just less layers as you come in towards the centre. The sun's come out now. It was so black when we went to the shop. Thought it was going to rain. I put a sort of mid-season jacket on, you know, spring autumn weight jacket. And we opened the door and it was so muggy. So, nope. And so I changed and put a MAC on. But, you know, just a light MAC, a plastic bag as I call them. But it was cool under the trees along the canal and the rain never came. And now it's sunny. Someone's had a storm. They've had our rain. Thank you, whoever's had our rain. Now I'm thinking about these, what they're attached to. I think I might just do them grey, silvery. We used a light bluish grey for the silver clock hands. We're going to do that again, I think. So it's number 34, but this time that one I'm just going to fill right in. It's quite pale, so trying to make it look shiny is going to be hard. I'm going to try and leave a lighter bit in the middle there on that one. But these are a bit too small. Right, that is all our pencil work, but that isn't the end. I'm going to do a bit of a background. Now, I'm just going to push my pencils away so I've got a bit more room. Okay, I'm going to do some soft pastels. You don't have to do this. If you don't have your any pastels, then you can't do it. Let's grab one. I'm going to do a yellow. I want this to stand out, and I think if I do a goldish yellow colour it will help, that is I hope. So in my set of pastels I've got two here which are sort of goldish yellowish colours. So I'm going to start with the darker one here. Let's rub it onto my cloth like that. And then I'm going to hold this in the middle and just put a bit in the background. And I'm just going to hope that I can get a fair bit down without it smudging the pencil too much. Seems to be going down okay. Oh, just getting a hot flush now. I could use the slightly lighter one towards the middle, but I'm actually just going to use this same one all the way along and then use a little bit of darker bits maybe in the corners, but it depends how it looks really. It's going to take me a little while. I could do with my fan. Whew, I've got a fan. I've got a handheld fan. I think I've mentioned it before. It's very, very good. I would highly recommend it if you're getting hot flushes because you can very easily direct it to where you need it. The only thing I haven't cracked yet is using my other hand while I'm fanning myself. I can't do that two things at once. I can rub my tummy and pat my head, but I think that's something I've learned to do. I now need to learn how to use a fan and type on my keyboard or colour, I can't do it. It feels very tricky. This blue isn't smearing, which is really good news. Oh, I can feel my arms are all sticky now. Ugh. It gets so hot, so sweaty. Ugh. I did, last time I was at the doctor's, I mentioned to the nurse and she said if it gets too bad I could get some HRT, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want to go on that, you know. But I'll see. I shouldn't have been touching that corner. It's a fingerprint. Can you see that fingerprint? Some people apply pastels with their fingers. I guess then you'll add your grease into all of it rather than just one little patch. Oh, well, I'm too busy talking to notice what I'm doing. I think that's my problem. Now if you don't have pastels, you could do a pencil background in this colour, but that would be very ambitious. You could just leave it white. You could put some, oh, I know what I would do. Maybe get a gold gel pen and do some stars around it, maybe some, or dots. You know, don't have to be ambitious. If you can't draw, you don't have to, but you know, if you've got a star stencil, or if you can draw stars, draw a few stars around it, make it look a little bit magical. Something like that. Yeah, I think that's what I would do. I wouldn't do a pencil background. It's too much. It takes too long. I know people do them and they're amazing, but I have done them and sometimes I will, but it's just how the mood strikes me. And actually there isn't a lot of background on this one, so it could be a good one to do because there's not loads of white space, but I'm not in the mood for doing too much like that at the moment. I don't know whether it's just because it's hot summer and or menopause or general laziness. I don't know. I've been sticking to my pastels quite rigidly, which is good. Now this wasn't an intentional effect, but actually blue and yellow go quite well together, so those birds flying on that background, sorry, actually works quite well. I'm trying to get down into the spine a little bit. Now you can make it as even as you like. It's up to you really whether you want to try and even it out or make it a bit splodgy. What I tend to do is keep it fairly splodgy and then add in some splodges to make it look more intentional. So I'm going to go a little bit darker in patches to bring out some of the darker areas in the clog. So we've got a sort of orangey browns going on down here. I'm going to grab a bit of this one. That sort of colour, it's like a sienna, and just put a little bit in the corners, not too much. Needs to be enough to see it though, doesn't it? There we go, like that. I just put it all over my hand. Oh dear. There we go, a little bit more just in this corner here. Oh, another background idea, some people use paint a lot in their backgrounds. That's it for that, but I'm just going to grab a pan pastel. What I'm going to do is make the clock face shine with a pearlescent, this is a white fine pearl medium pan pastel, okay, and I'm going to put a bit on the clock face. So I'm actually, I was going to use a really fine cloth but it's vanished, so I'm going to use this one. just take a little bit on, just in exactly the same way. Now I just want it on the face, I don't want it on the hands, so I'm going to try to avoid them, but I don't know how easy it's going to be. I can't even see what I'm doing because the light isn't catching the page in the right angle. So now I'm going to tip it to the light. Nope, it doesn't want to shine. I can't see it at all. Maybe you can see it. I can't. Maybe, I mean, I'd put a bit more on. I mean, there's yellow on the cloth as if it's taking off the pencil a bit. So hopefully a bit is going on. Now, I do have some more precise tools. I have some Q-tips, but they've fallen on the floor, so I couldn't find them. But there we go, I'm going to leave it there. Let's take away this piece of paper and show you the finished page. Pull that up a little bit so it goes a bit straighter. It never looks straight when I show you it. There we go. There is our finished clock. So hopefully that will help to make Kerby feel a little bit less daunting. There are a few things that I might do extra, which I would if I didn't have. Could use a gold pen around the edge of the clock face. You could use some glitter on the hands or on the bird, but actually no, I'm not going to anyway. I was thinking I might later, but I won't. I'm going to leave mine like that. So there it is, there's the clock. So thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe and comment. Let me know if you're going to have a go, if the tips have helped you with Kerby, if you want any other Kerbys done or anything else, let me know. But thank you so much. Hope you have a... didn't show you what pastels I used. Always the same ones, Mungyo. Hope you have a super day and happy colouring.